Today we'll look at manipulating and solving equations, chapter 7. So let's look at an example. Let's say we have this expression. We need to find the value of a. So first we open the brackets. We have this expression. We'll open bracket. We get 2a plus 2b plus 4c plus 6d plus 2 is equals to this equation, 3a plus 2b plus 4c plus 6d. Now, looking at this expression, we can actually cancel 2b on both sides. We can cancel 4c both sides. We can cancel 6d. So we're left with 2a plus 2 is equals to 3a. We can bring 2a on this side. We get 3a minus 2a, which is a, and that's going to be equals to 2. So a is going to be 2. Example 2, we have this expression. We need to see which one is equivalent to this. So we'll have to square both sides to get rid of the root. So we square this side and we square this side. If you square the left side, we'll get ab, because this cancels with this, is equals to a minus b squared. And then we'll have to expand this side. We get a squared minus 2ab plus b squared is equals to ab. Now we can bring this ab on the right side. It'll be a squared minus 2ab and then minus ab plus b squared. That's equal to 0. We can simplify this. We get a squared minus 3ab plus b squared is equals to 0. So we can write this as a squared plus b squared is equals to 3ab, and we have that in D. Next question. It says, what's the sum of the two possible values of x? Now what you can do, a simple way to solve this is you take the roots on both sides. So you take the roots on this side and this side, this cancels with this. We get x plus 3 is equals to, now when you take the root, you have to write plus and minus. So it'll be plus minus root of 121 is 11. So that means you will write x plus 3 is equals to positive 11 and x plus 3 is equals to negative 11. You'll solve these two. You get x is equals to 11 minus 3, which is 8. And on the right side, you get x is equals to minus 11 minus 3, which is negative 14. So you get 8 and negative 14. It says, what's the sum? So that means 8 plus negative 14, which is 8 minus 14, which is minus 6. So that'll be your answer. Example 4. We need to find the value of x. The best way to solve this is to cross multiply. This goes up, this goes up. So 4 times 3 is 12. X is equals to 5 times 10 is 50. So 12x is equals to 50. X is equals to 50 over 12. And then you can simplify this. You can write this as, you can divide by 2. So 2 times 25 is 50. 2 times 6 is 12. That'll be your answer. Okay, next. Example 5. Now in this case we need to find a common denominator. So we'll cross multiply this with this, this with this, and then these two we'll find the product. And that'll be the denominator. So 5 times x plus 2, and then this goes up, minus 3 times x minus 2, divided by the product of this and this, x minus 2 and x plus 2. We get, if we open brackets, we get 5x plus 10 is equals minus 3x plus 6, divided by x minus 2 and x plus 2. Simplify this, we will have 5x minus 3x, which is 2x. 10 plus 6 is 16. 2x plus 16 over x minus 2 and x plus 2. We can factor, it's equal to 0. So we can make this equal to 0 because this expression is equals to 0. So this can go up and multiply with 0, which is just 0. So we get 2x plus 16 is equals to 0. And then 2x is equals to negative 16, which means x is equals to negative 16 over 2, which is negative 8. That'll be the value of x. Example 7. It says, what's one possible real value of x if this is true? So to solve this question, we factor by grouping. So we take this as the first group and this as the second group. Now in the first group, what's common between these two? Between these two we have x cubed that's common. So we'll take x cubed out for the first group. So that's going to be x cubed. X plus 3. That's what's common in the first group. In the second one, there's nothing common as such, so we'll just take 1. So I'll factor 1 in the second group. So we get x plus 3, the same thing. Make this equal to 0. I have x plus 3 and x plus 3, that's common. I can write that once, and then write everything that's outside. So x cubed and plus 1. Everything that's outside comes in the second bracket. X cubed plus 1 is equals to 0. We solve this, so x plus 3 is equals to 0, and x cubed plus 1 is equals to 0. X is equals to negative 3 for the first one, and in the second one, it's going to be x cubed is equals to negative 1, and then we find the cube root on both sides, cube root of this and the cube root of this. X is going to be negative 1. This cancels with this. Example 9, it says, what is the value, what real value of x would it be? So we need to solve this. Let's say this looks a lot like a quadratic equation. It looks a lot like this, a squared plus 5a minus 24, right? So we'll just substitute x plus 1 with a. So I'll say a is equals to x plus 1. It makes things a lot easier to solve. So we get a squared plus 5a minus 24 is equals to 0. So it's equals to 0. And then we'll have to solve this. To solve this, we'll use middle term breaking. Now, to solve this, I need to find the products of a and c. So I need to find the product of this value, the coefficient of a squared, and this value. So 1 times 24 is 24. And I need to find two values that subtract to give 5. So look for all the factors of 24. 2 times 12 is 24. 4 times 6 is 24. And 3 times 8 is 24. Now this sign is negative, which means the two numbers should subtract to give 5. So look for two numbers that subtract to give 5. 24 minus 1 is 23, 12 minus 2 is 10, 6 minus 4 is 2, 8 minus 3 is 5. So we'll use this. We'll use 8 and 3. So we can write this as a squared and minus 24. We're basically breaking up plus 5a. So plus 5a becomes plus 8a and minus 3a, because we're using these two numbers. Now we'll have to factor, so we have a squared plus 8a minus 3a minus 24 equals to 0. We'll factor by grouping again, so this is the first group, this is the second group. In the first group, a is common, so a plus 8. And the second one, we have negative 3. We have negative 3, and then a plus 8, because negative 3 times 8 is negative 24. Now I have these two that are common. I can write that once. I have a plus 8, and then whatever is left outside in the second bracket, a minus 3 comes in the second one. So that means a is equals to negative 8. Make this equals to 0, and make this equals to 0, and a is equals to 3. So negative 8 and 3. It says x is greater than 0, which means it has to be 3. So we'll take 3 as our solution, not negative 8. Example 10, it says what's the value of x plus 3? So an easy way to solve this is if you divide this side by 3, you will get x plus 3y, which is the same as this. So if you divide the left side, you have to divide the right side as well. So 9 divided by 3 is going to be 3. So x plus 3y is equals to 3. Example 11, it says what's the value of y over 2x? Now, we can solve this by saying x is equals to 3y. The y goes up to 3. So we'll use that, we'll substitute that into this, into x over here. So we have y over, it was 2x, so instead of x, I will write 3y. Now the y's can cancel y, which means I'm left with 1 over 2 times 3, which is 6. So I get 1 over 6. Okay, now we have to isolate variables. So in this case, let's say I want to isolate r. So to solve this, I will need to get rid of the pi first. So the pi has to go somewhere. So because it's multiplying with r, it has to go to the left side, which means it'll divide. So if it's multiplying, on the other side it's going to divide. If it's adding or minusing, and on the other side it'll just be the opposite, right? So you just change their places, change the signs. So the pi comes down, so it becomes a over pi because it's dividing on the left side, is equals to r squared. We need to get rid of the squared, so we need to take the root on both sides. Root this, we cancel square with root, which means we're left with r is equals to root of a over pi. So that's r. In the second one, we need to find y2. So to solve for this, we can take this up to m, which means we get m, we get x2 minus x1, and is equals to y2 minus y1. We need to find y2, which means the y1 goes on the left side. It's negative y1, which means on the left side it becomes positive y1. So mx2 minus x1 plus y1 is equals to y2. That would be your answer. Next one, it says we need to find y in terms of x. So y in terms of x. We'll first expand this. We get xy plus 2x is equals to y. We'll bring the y's on the same side. So let's take xy on the right side. 2x is equals to y minus xy. So if it says y, we need to bring all the y's on one side. Now on the right side, I can factor this y. I get 1 minus x is equals to 2x. Now because it's multiplying and I need just the y, I need to get rid of 1 minus x. So the 1 minus x moves to the left side, and to move it to the left side we'll have to divide it because it's multiplying on this side, and that will be equals to y. That will be your answer. Let's do some questions. So question 1, we have a plus b is minus 2. We need to find a plus b cubed. So easy, you cube this side and you cube this side. So that means a plus b cubed is equals to the cube of negative 2. The cube of negative 2 is negative 8. That will be negative 8. Question 2. For what value of n is this equals to this? We can take the root on both sides. Root on this side, root on this side. We cancel the squares with the roots. We get n minus 4 is equals to n plus 4, which is not possible. So we'll try something else. So let's expand these two. We get n squared minus 2ab, so 8n plus 16 is equals to n squared plus 2 times 4 is 8, 8n plus 16. We can cancel n squared on both sides. We can cancel 16 on both sides. We're left with negative 8n is equals to plus 8n, which means you can take this on this side. So it's 8, so that's 0. 0 is equals to 8n plus 8n. So 0 is equals to 16n, which means n is equals to 0. Next question 3. We have this expression. We need to find b minus ac. So if we multiply this, 1 times b is b, a times c is ac, so it's b over ac is equals to 1. We can take ac up to 1, so that becomes b is equals to ac. And because b is equals to ac, we can simply plug that in over here. We get ac minus ac, which is going to be 0. So it'll be 0. Question 4. We have 3x minus 8 is negative 23. We need to find 6x minus 7. Let's find x. So 3x minus 8 is negative 23. Negative 8 goes on the right side. 3x is equals to negative 23 plus 8, which is 3x is equals to negative 15, which means x is negative 5. So because x is negative 5, we can plug that in over here. 6 times negative 5 is negative 30. And then minus 7, which means we get negative 37. Question 5. We need to find the value of m. We'll cross multiply both sides. Actually, before we cross multiply, we can simplify both sides. So 4 times 1 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, 3 times 1 is 3, 3 times 3 is 9. So we can say 1 over 3 is equals to 2 over 1m. Now you can cross multiply, so we can simply say this is 1 over 3 is equals to 2m, and then the 2 can come down to 3, so that becomes 1 over 3 times 2 is equals to m, which means m is 1 over 6. That's m. Question 6. We need to find x to solve this, so to find x. 1 goes here. 3x is equals to negative 8 minus 1, which is negative 9, which means x is negative 3. So x is negative 3. Plug that in over here. Negative 3 plus 2 is negative 1. And then we cube that. So that gives us negative 1. Question 7. We need to find k in terms of x. So we'll cross multiply. 3 goes up to 4, and this goes up to x. 3 times 4 is 12, is equals to x times k plus 2. We expand this, we get xk is equals to 2x. We need to find k, so 2x goes on the left side. 12 minus 2x is equals to xk, and then this x can come down to the left. So 12 minus 2x over x is equals to k. That would be your answer. Question 8. We need to find the value of x squared. So we can take the root on both sides, root this and root this. This cancels with this. We get x minus 3 is equals to root 36. You can write root 36 as 6. So x minus 3 is equals to plus and minus 6. So I'll write that here. Plus 6 or minus 6, because it can be both. So that means x is equals to 6 plus 3, which is 9, or x is equals to minus 6 plus 3, which is negative 3. We need to find the value. It says x is less than 0. That means we're looking at this value, not this one. And it says we need x squared, so x squared is going to be negative 3 squared, which is 9. And that will be our answer.